The Mary Celeste was a 282-ton brigantine, built in 1861, and it became one of the most famous ghost ships in maritime history. On November 7, 1872, the ship set sail from New York, bound for Genoa, Italy. It was a routine voyage with Captain Benjamin Briggs at the helm, accompanied by his wife and daughter, as well as a crew of 7 men. The ship was fully stocked with provisions, and everything seemed in order. On December 4th, just over a month after departure, another ship, the Dei Gratia, stumbled upon the Mary Celeste in the Atlantic Ocean, about 400 miles east of the Azores. The ship was adrift, her sails unfurled, but there was no sign of life aboard. It was a complete mystery. The Mary Celeste was in perfect condition. The rigging was intact, and the ship's logbook was still open, with entries written just a few days prior. Even more bizarre, the crew's personal belongings, including valuables, were left behind. The galley was set with a half-prepared meal. The only thing missing, the crew. The lifeboat was gone, and the ship's 6-month supply of water and food was still aboard. The ship's position indicated that it had not been adrift for long, leading many to believe the crew had left in a hurry. But what had made them abandon a perfectly fine vessel in the middle of the ocean? Various theories have emerged over the years. Some claim the crew was struck by an outbreak of panic or madness, perhaps spurred on by strange phenomena. Others suggest the ship had been cursed, possibly due to a series of bad omens, like an ill-fated encounter with a storm or a misjudged encounter with an invisible force. One of the more eerie explanations points to a mysterious fog that may have surrounded the ship. According to some reports, the Mary Celeste was last seen in a thick, unnatural mist, and those who later sailed near the area reported feeling inexplicably uneasy. Could a supernatural entity have driven the crew to madness, forcing them to abandon their ship in terror? The mystery has never been solved. Were the crew victims of some unearthly force? Or was there a more rational explanation, one that still eludes us? Whatever the case, the Mary Celeste remains a chilling reminder of how the sea can hide its darkest secrets. The legend of the Flying Dutchman is one of the most haunting stories to ever emerge from the world of sailing. The tale began in the 17th century when a Dutch East India Company ship, under the command of Captain Hendrik van der Decken, was making its way around the Cape of Good Hope, located at the southern tip of Africa. The weather was notoriously unpredictable, and a massive storm struck as the ship attempted to round the Cape. Captain van der Decken, known for his stubbornness and relentless attitude, swore that he would complete the journey no matter the cost. With his crew exhausted and the storm worsening, the captain is said to have defied nature, swearing that he would sail around the Cape even if hell itself should bar the way. At that moment, lightning struck, and according to legend, a voice from the storm replied, cursing him to sail the seas forever. As the storm raged on, the Flying Dutchman was lost to the sea, with its crew doomed to sail for eternity. The ship and its crew, forever trapped in the storm, were never seen again. At least, not in the physical sense. Sailors throughout the ages have reported sightings of the ghostly ship, often appearing through fog or glowing ominously in the distance. Some witnesses have claimed to see the ship's sails, tattered and torn, filled with a supernatural light that flickers eerily against the dark sky. The sightings of the Flying Dutchman were so frequent that they became an infamous omen to sailors. Those who claimed to have seen the ghost ship were often marked for death. In fact, many accounts describe those who witnessed the Flying Dutchman as suffering tragic, unexplained deaths shortly thereafter. Some sailors died in storms, others fell ill, and some simply disappeared. One of the most well-known sightings occurred in 1881, when a British ship, the bark Mary Celestia, spotted the Flying Dutchman off the coast of Australia. The crew saw it sailing through the fog, its masts and sails glowing like a beacon. The next day, disaster struck the ship. The captain, upon returning to port, tragically died. His crew, who had also seen the ghost ship, suffered similar fates. To this day, sailors claim to see the Flying Dutchman, and while the ship may be a legend, its chilling reputation endures, as sailors continue to report the eerie sight of the ghostly vessel on dark, foggy nights. Was it a ship cursed by the wrath of the sea? Or is it a harbinger of doom, a reminder that there are forces on the water beyond human understanding? In 1947, an eerie distress signal came from a ship called the Orang Medan. The message was brief but chilling. All officers, including the captain, are dead. Lying in the chart room and on the bridge, possibly the whole crew is dead. And then, nothing. The transmission ended with a blood-curdling scream. When rescuers arrived, they found the Orang Medan floating in the Strait of Malacca, off the coast of Malaysia. The ship appeared undamaged, and there were no signs of an attack. But when the rescuers boarded the ship, they were horrified by what they found. The entire crew was dead. Their bodies were found frozen in terror, their eyes wide open, their faces contorted in pain. There were no signs of injury, no blood, no obvious cause of death. Only sheer horror etched into the faces of the deceased. Some bodies were found lying with their hands pressed to their throats, others with their arms extended in a strange, rigid manner. The mystery deepened when it was discovered that the ship's cargo hold contained a hazardous mix of chemicals, though the exact cause of the deaths remained unclear. As the rescuers began to investigate further, a strange event occurred. The Orang Medan caught fire. The fire spread quickly, and despite attempts to control it, the ship sank, vanishing into the sea without a trace. Was it a deadly gas leak? An experiment gone wrong? Or something even darker, like an attack from an unseen enemy? The fate of the Orang Medan remains one of the most bizarre mysteries of the sea, leaving behind only unanswered questions.